What's going on, folks? We're again, Dr. Sean Thomas back in the building with the Be More Today show. We are back. We are back. We are back in the building. And folks, we are here celebrating another Monday, a happy Boston Marathon Monday to all you out there rocking this thing out. And we are here in the month of April, and the Be More Today show continues to grow. Now here in season 5, as we've grown so much in this last year, our theme for this year is being more in 24, and we're doing it. We have our Steps of Greatness Challenge happening right now for all those who are trying to get their steps in, 10,000 steps in for 40 days. The challenge is underway for the spring season, and people are getting it done. So kudos to you all who are out there being more for yourselves and for your community. I appreciate you guys so much. And the Be More Today show, as you already know, continues to grow. Now heard in 82 countries, over 58,000 downloads. Again, thanks to your love and support. This show continues to thrive and strive to be more in various countries around the world. So I appreciate you all so much. If you want to follow us, as always, Be More Today's show, Be More Today PT, or me, your boy, Dr. Sean Thomas, on Instagram and on Facebook and all other platforms. Today's quote is simple, as always, by John F. Kennedy. Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. Every accomplishment starts with a decision to try. A very simple quote, but one that I think a lot of us lose sight of because we get so caught up in the fears, the challenges, the excuses, right? Our theme for our run club this year is big work, big wins. And to put in big work and have big wins, you got to at least step up and try something. You got to start from somewhere. And the accomplishments are going to happen. They're going to happen the more you put the time in, the more you put the work in. But the decision to try is sometimes the hardest thing to do. And as we talk about Marathon Monday for Boston, and I'm doing London in about 10 days now, coming up very, very soon. I think about all the things that run clubs have done for people around the world. And as we continue to highlight the run clubs that are in New York City, as part of Roadrunners Run Club. There are so many run clubs who are doing great things in various parts of our 5 boroughs. And today's run club is no different. And the quote is really related to them because they're a group that goes out there and inspires others to go out there and make the decision just to try. And they're Forest Park Runners Club. Now, this is one of the oldest running clubs that we have in New York Road Running Club's history. It is comprised of so many people who I call seasoned members. Yes. They're seasoned members, and they're doing their thing every single day, and they're still being very competitive. Now, they're proud to say that they're one of the oldest run clubs that are in our organization, but they are also ones who are going out there and sharing their stories. And the stories that they share are some that we're going to share today. A few years ago, this run club was awarded by an assemblywoman, Jennifer Raj Kumar, for being a run club that's done the most in their community. Now, community work is easy sometimes, but it becomes challenging. And when run club is doing it collectively, it's even more impressive. And I'm just so excited to have this run club on the show today. We have so many members of the run club today. I'm going to have them introduce themselves. But this run club has been in Queens for a long time, and they run one of the classic 4-mile road races, the FPR Classic 4-mile road trail run race. And we're going to talk more about that also. But today, folks, I have so many people on this club on the show today, and the club is Forest Park Runners Club. So without further ado, please, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pets included, please welcome to the stage as we continue our Road Runner Club series, the Forest Park Running Club. Folks, what is going on?
Good afternoon. Thanks for having us, Sean.
No problem. Now, I just want to give you guys a chance just to share with listeners who you are. I know we have a lot of people on the show right now, from presidents to coaches, and I'm going to start with you, Mark. Just tell people who you are and your relationship with the club.
Sure thing. Mark Beck. I live in Glendale, Queens. I've been a member of Forest Park Runners since 2013. I'm the former vice president of Forest Park Runners, but still a very active member, trying to make many of our weekend runs and events. It's a club I found this club to be a wonderful community. I came across them actually at a race in Brooklyn that I was working at. I had just become a fairly new runner before that. And I run through Forest Park and I saw these folks, these nice folks that all were wearing Forest Park runner shirts. And I asked the one in Queens, Forest Park, and they said, yeah. I'm like, I did not know you existed. So that's how I started. That's when I started to show up and met the rest of the folks that are on this call now. And it's just a great, I found it to be a wonderful community and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Amazing, amazing. Let's go to our secretary, Jack. Jack, how are you?
I'm feeling good, thank you. Well, glad to be here. Thanks for having us. As you mentioned, I'm the secretary of the club, and it's a club that's been together since the early '80s, and we pride ourselves on being a welcoming community and doing community service for the local youth. We put on 1-mile races for the biggest participants are the youth in those 1-mile races, and there are no frills, so they're almost they've been as little as $3 to run the race. It's now up to $5 just for now, because we give out trophy, even though it's no frills. We do give out medals to all running under 16 and under, or 12 and under actually. And I've been president of this club at times, and what's always been consistent is we have a reasonable cost to join the club. So we have a reasonable cost to run our races, and we always support the community. And John F. Kennedy also said, "Ask not what you can do for your running club. Ask what you can do for ask not what you can do for yourself. Ask what you can do for the running club."
That's
So we
right.
have many so we have many guys we have a lot of talented people in the club. We've had artists over there. We've had bakers. We've had all sorts of people who have contributed to the club willingly and contributed to the community in that way. So
I love it. I love it. Yes, that JFK quote is poignant. I didn't know he said that, but I guess he did say it. So we're gonna rock with it. We're gonna rock with it. And every run club has a coach. Now I'm the coach for our run club, Spartan Center Run Club. I'm also a physical therapist, so I'm a coach and a team doc. But your coach is talented for many, many reasons, right? She's done so many things. I know she was a member of the year. She won so many things during the pandemic. She's a certified USATF coach. She's also an ultra trail runner. And I know she has some challenges she's also been through, but I want to have her share that. And that is Coach Otelia. So Coach, how are you today? What's going on? Talk to the listeners about your contribution to the club and what's going on with you.
Hi, I'm Otelia. I'm the coach of the club since a year, I guess, last year, right? I started as an independent runner when I moved here in the area, and I was looking for a friendly running club to join. That's how I found them online. And actually, Carmen was the first person when I attended the first speed work. She was the first member I met, and she walked up to me and she says, "Hey, I'm Carmen." And she was all smile, and that was the moment I decided, okay, this is my club because this is what I need. And over the years, I get to know the members. They are all so nice, and that's what I really like about this club. The members are just amazing. So I started as a simple runner, and when the club needed a new coach, I stepped up, and by the time I had the knowledge and everything, the experience, and I decided to take over the job. So yeah, so that's how it started.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And Carmen, how long you been with the club?
Roughly about 9 years, although I started work running about 16 years. I'm a yoga practitioner for over 25 years, and I started running because it was challenging to me. My yoga instructor said, well, running is counterproductive for yoga. Okay, well, that's a challenge in itself. So, I liked it since I started, and I found Forest Park through online. And I was like, oh, this is very close to home. I lived in Kew Gardens in the other side from where we meet, and it was very convenient. And when I came and met the club, they were very welcoming. We are like a family, and I like that. So, I said, like, Otilia, this is my club. I'm not going nowhere.
Yeah.
And so I'm a member since about 9 years ago.
Amazing. Amazing. So listen, you guys have
Yeah, and
shared.
you know that
Go ahead.
all. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm just really impressed with the admiration that you all have for the club. I think a lot of clubs are different, right? There's so many clubs in New York City. There's so many clubs, and you go to these races. I don't know if you guys did the NYC half that just happened a couple of weeks ago, or even yeah. So I was out there too, right? There's so many clubs, right? There's so many clubs, and every club is different. And as you're running around through these different boroughs, or even in different races around the city, and you see clubs stationed at different mile markers, you can sense the individual families that you have, right? As you pass by either Nike or Ohm or Teamwork or wherever else, you're passing by these different groups, and they're cheering for you and they're cheering for the people too, but every club is different. And it's like little families. And I can really tell that you guys are a very unique family that comes together, and you guys are connected, you're unified, and you're excited about helping others to succeed. But I have some questions for you, because you talked about the membership, we talked about where you guys practice and all those things. But what makes this club special compared to everybody else, right? What makes you guys different? You talked about the membership fees, and you talked about where you guys practice, and the longevity in terms of having some of the more senior runners still be a part of this group. But you guys have been in existence for a long time, and there has to be something that's kept you going for such a long time. So what's been that glue that has held Forest Park Runners Club continuing to strive and thrive for the last number of years?
To me,
I can mention two things. The first is the support, the way we support each other, not just as runners and athletes, but private persons. So it's we always learn new things. We try to teach each other. I try to teach them new things. But besides running, when it's all done, the practice, the runs, the speed work, we have our private lives, but we are still there for each other. So it doesn't end at the end. The relationship doesn't end at the end of the runs. It's still continuing, like taking me to the hospital. As I know you wanted to talk about this because I mentioned that I have a condition I am living with. It's actually a brain tumor, so which is benign, but it's still in my head, and it causes some problems. And sometimes, I have to go to the hospital. I have yearly checkups, MRIs, everything, and they are coming with me. They are taking with me anything, and it's not just me. During the pandemic, we had members got COVID. We supported them in every way we could. So this is one thing that makes our relationship so much stronger. What was the other thing I wanted to? I'm gonna think about it.
No problem.
But
Mark,
anything else? Wants to say something? Go ahead.
if I can jump in real quick, just for me, it is the support that we give each other throughout training. Everybody has their own goals. Everybody has a race they want to do, or a new distance they want to hit. One of the things that makes us great is we have so many. You use the term seasoned, and we have folks that have been around doing this for a long time. Folks like Jack, who's been running marathons since the early 80s or so. They have decades of experience to pass on to newer people or newer runners. I mean, I'm 53, closing in on 53. I'm not a young guy, but when I was ready for my first marathon, I was leaning on people like Jack for advice, experience, things that he went through during his first few years doing it. that he's been able to pass down to folks like me. And now I've done 11. I'm working to be getting to 12 and 13 this year. I love being a part of the training for other people that are going to be rookies for their first marathon. We've increased our number of folks that are doing marathons every year, and it's a tremendous thrill for me to see them being out on the course, getting their first medal, and celebrating them after it's done. I love being able to be part of that process in some way.
Yeah, I gotta say that is, I connect with that. My daughter in school, she does this when they connect with things with her teachers. I connect with that in a variety of ways because I think it is so invigorating to see someone do something that they didn't think they could do. Right. And the marathon is that thing. Well, it could be a 5K, it could be a 10K, it could be any of those things. But, the marathon is that 1% of people, who really do that thing. And to see someone watch, watch Jack run the marathon, right? And say, wow, I can't do that. Jack can do that for so many years. But then to say that, well, Coach Adi can help us to get there. And then you train for that thing. And then you see that you can do it. And then you inspire someone else to do that. That's why I love this thing, because so many people can apply that to their real lives. Right? You talk about going back to school or writing a book or applying to a job. These same things that incorporate you having to get over goals, trying to do something that you didn't think you could do before. The marathon training, the speed work, the trail runs, all the stuff, it applies to that stuff still. And I think every run club does that. You give these people, all people, inspiration to go out there and do something that they did not think they could do. And then when they can do that thing, you're like Superman, Superwoman. You can do so many more things after that. That's why I love just really highlighting so many run clubs, because everyone's inspiring other people to go out there, whether it's like Jack, who's been doing this thing since the 80s, or, like you and me, Mark, who probably doing this a little later. It's the same thing. And I'm just really excited about that. And it's brings me to my next question with Jack. Jack, what inspires you still to continue to do this? Because a lot of people, we do things for a while and then we fall off, right? We do things for a while and then we pick another thing. But there are certain people who continue to push and inspire others, even though their body may not be as strong as it was, or it may hurt a little more, or there's more challenges as we get older. What has inspired you, Jack, to continue to be a part of this run club and continue to strive and thrive and inspire others behind you?
It's we have a club that's, on one hand, has, as you said, has seasoned guys who've been here for a while, who I've known and enjoyed over the years. I've been competing against these guys, and that competition is part of it. The feeling of family as well, as I mentioned, there's a lot of support and a lot of knowledge in these guys, and we want to share that with the new crew coming in and growing the club. We used to our workouts on the weekends were almost like races. They were so competitive back then. But I'm not able to compete with anybody right now. But I hope to be able to do that again. That keeps me going. Hoping that I'll be able to compete again. And one other thing that keeps the club going, and you mentioned, is we have a monthly meetings in person, and I think that you get to know everybody better at those meetings. We had a period with the Corona where we had virtual meetings and we tried to keep things going. We actually had even though we didn't have any income at the time because we didn't have our fundraiser is our classic 4-mile race. We still had enough in the treasury. We were encouraging runners to do virtual activities and record them, and we would have a small prize money for those who were the most competitive in these, and that kept the club going during the pandemic. And and now we're meeting in person again. It's a much better situation, and so I hope that answers the question.
That's great. So
Sean,
Carmen, Carmen.
I just want to say a little bit, and this may be going back to your first question as to why it makes Forest Park special. So one of the things, I'm a very disciplined person in some ways. And one of the things that I find with Forest Park is we are not only one of the oldest clubs, but it's very structured. We have a wonderful secretary, which I'll tell you, I hope every club has a secretary like Jack, because it gives the younger runners the support. I mean, he keeps us informed as to runs that are available. He is great with posting updates. He issues minutes. I mean, we had the meeting yesterday and he already sent us the meeting. So he is very, very good in
He's
keeping
brilliant,
us
yeah.
informed. And again, you know, the support. So, you know, I hope again, you know, that every club will have a Jack because
Mhm.
we are very structured, and we have still original members that are still walking in the park and that are sharing the knowledge. So that's very special to me. You know, we're structured, and they offer the support. And it's really nice, you know, for us that are like in the, I guess, not so old members, but not so new, that we still rely on people like the Jack and Ed and Frank. But there are other runners that come and they're like doing the same thing to us. They ask us, so it feels good.
Yeah. No, you definitely need
Mhm.
that. You need that structure. And we have a secretary who does those things for us too. But yeah, you need that structure. That does make everything a lot easier, especially with so many road races being booked out this year. I mean, this year we saw a tremendous boom in people running and getting back to running or just joining run clubs. I mean, races were selling out early this year. And to be honest, there aren't many races that are still left. So, you know, having someone like Jack to do that for you has, I'm sure, has been very, very instrumental. That's great.
Well, we had an original secretary of the club back who took shorthand and would come up with the minutes pretty much word for word. I'm not on the level of that secretary.
You
But
don't take shorthand? Well, I'll tell you one thing. He is brilliant in a way because he doesn't even take notes, but you see
Ah.
our minutes reflect everything that occurred in the meeting. So
Wow.
he may not take shorthand, but he can surely provide with accurate minutes. And
Yeah.
I give him
I'm not that
kudos
great.
to that.
Mark's been vice president. When I was president, I used to say that the club runs itself. The club, I didn't do anything. The club was just run itself.
Yeah.
So,
But that, I mean, just listen to you guys speak about it. It seems like the culture there is transcendent of all those things, right? So the same culture you probably set back in the 80s is what you guys have now. And everyone has just been piggybacking off of that same thing throughout the years. And I think the consistency, as it sounds, has been what's made this club so special. You guys have been consistent from the beginning, and the legacy now that you're sharing with others is it's showing. It still permeates to the new generations that this running thing is great and it's something that can change your life for the better. So, Coach Adi, what?
Sean, shared experience is
Yeah,
vital to us. That we try to, there's a lot of times when you want to go out and run on your own, but there's a lot of times you want to have somebody with you. And we've been trying harder to get back to, for a few years, we kind of got away from it, and we've been working hard in very recent years to get back to that, to doing that shared experience on a long run, a little short jaunt someplace, shared trips to races, sharing experiences with the folks in the club has been very important to us.
yeah, yeah. I think that's big. And you know, one thing I didn't touch on yet is when you guys actually practice. When do you guys practice? What times do you practice, and where?
The main focus point for us is we're getting back to our weekend morning runs, weekends and holidays, Saturdays and or Sundays around 8 a.m. and holidays I think, so depending on which holiday it is, 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. I think New Year's Day we go at 9 for obvious reasons. But we try to establish that as a benchmark. And we come up with different routes that start in Forest Park and go to areas throughout Queens and throughout the city, depending on how long we go. Last year we had we pulled out for a couple of 20 milers that started in Forest Park and ended at Tavern on the Green. So we'll go into Flushing Meadow, we'll go to St. John's, we'll do plenty of runs during the summer to the Rockaways. We can go straight, we go straight down Woodhaven Boulevard and hang out on the beach for a little while afterwards. So we're doing a lot of exploration throughout Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, etc. We also now have speed work during the week. Otelia is the coach. She runs those now. She can tell you more about when those are scheduled. And then we've started to do a Monday night run here and there. That's fairly new for some folks that it's more convenient for them.
Awesome. Yeah, coach, talk about the speed work now. What days do you guys have the speed workouts?
So summer speed work just started now every Wednesday night at the track at Victory Field, 7 p.m. every Wednesday, 7 p.m. And the winter speed work, it's starting usually in October, end of October, when the days are shorter. We do it on the weekends, Saturday or Sunday. It depends, people have races and long runs, so we try to work together. The long run groups led by Mark and Valkenia. She's not here at the moment. They are excellent runners, so they are the leaders for the long runs. So we try to work together. We have this messenger chat group chat, tactical group chat. So we try to work together and see what works for for everyone. What is the best for everyone?
Awesome.
And one thing, Sean, these group runs, they're open to any club that wants to come and just hang out with us. We will not say no, and we're pretty good in welcoming other members, and they come and join, and it's cool.
Even speed work is open to everyone.
Yes.
Awesome.
And Otelia, I want to point out, Otelia takes the coaching seriously. She's a
I am very, very
full-time person with a lot of responsibilities, but somehow has been able to actually go out and get certified as a coach, and a lot of hours of testing involved in that process.
Yeah, so that was the first thing when they needed a new coach. I said, okay, I stepped up, and then I started studying, and I became a certified USTR certified coach. But it's not the end of the road because there are new things comes out, researchers and everything. So actually, I became a member of the Women's Running Coaches Collective, which they have a lot of workshops and everything. You learn new things, and I would like to share, with my runners and give them all the, just make them better runners. And so that's my goal for 2024. I'm going back to school, and actually I want to be trail runner coach, because trail running is my thing. I want more trail runners in the club, because people don't like trail running for some reason. I don't know why. It's too hilly, it's dirt and everything. So it's not easy. So, but I think it's basic. Actually, it's a good speed work, and for speed work and all the hills and the hard things about trail running, it makes you, I think, a better runner. And I want more ultra runners, of course.
And you know what I have to say? I don't think people realize that when you're paying a coach, it can get expensive. And you get this just for being a club member. So all the tips, it's great.
Yeah.
How can you beat that?
Exactly. I think that's a poignant point, a valid point. And I think that's the beauty of these run clubs, right? Especially clubs like yours that don't have a very high fee to be a part of a community. There are so many resources you guys can share with others. The cost benefit for that is priceless, right? That the tips you're getting from your coach, the community you're getting, the access to the races, all kind of things. If you were to pay for those on your own, it'd be crazy, right? But being a part of a club like this, you get so many nuggets. And of course, the community aspect of it, which is, I think, even more priceless. Like you said, doing things by yourself is hard. Doing with somebody else is much, much easier. And that brings me to my next question for you, because you talked about trail running, and our club also started off by doing these Spartan races. Spartan races, as you guys probably know, are these crazy races in the woods. You're throwing spears, you're climbing ropes, barbed wire, climbing under. We actually started out doing those first before we even started doing road races, 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons in the woods. And then we said, let's take that to the road. But you guys have this classic that you guys do every year that is, it seems like it's a trail run and a road run. Talk to us about this classic that you guys have every single year, the FPR Classic 4-mile road/trail race. What is this thing?
Sure thing, Sean. This is our signature event every year. It's all within the confines of Forest Park. To our knowledge, it's the only race in New York City that does comprise running on a road and running on a trail. And we should also add, you're running on a track as well. So you got 3 different surfaces, three different environments. That's all part of this one single race that you can do within Forest Park. It's one of the things that's great about being a part of Forest Park, whereas you have access to this wonderful piece of New York City that has all of this available to you, car-free. You don't have to worry about traffic or traffic lights. So this race started back in the early 80s. Jack can confirm this with me. It's been going on since the 80s. And you start out on a track, do a lap on the Victory Field track. We take you out into Forest Park, into the trails for a while, and we take you out on the roadway within and around Forest Park, back on the trails, and back onto the track for the big finish celebration. It's a great neighborhood event, community event. It's not a huge race. It's not a big, massive thing. Last year was one of our bigger ones. We had about 250 that completed it. And we're looking to grow that race. But it's the uniqueness of it that you get to take it, that you get to run on roads and trails through a beautiful area. Forest Park is spectacular. And I think that's one of the big appeals of it. It's a challenging course because it is hilly within Forest Park. So it's not a walk in the park, so to speak. It's a tough race. But it's a competitive race. You got a lot of folks that when they get across the finish line, they busted their ass to try to finish this thing and to win it. But it's open to everybody. So you got folks that are running it hard, and you got folks that are just going out to enjoy the opportunity. And that's when we received our honors from Representative, I'm going to butcher her name, Raj Kumar, last year for recognition for this event that we've been putting on for such a long period of time in Central Queens.
That sounds exciting. What's the date of this race?
It's Memorial Day weekend, the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. I believe that's May 26th of this year. It starts at 10 a.m.
Okay.
I
Registration.
just want to point out, it wasn't originally, it was our race director, Frank Gallo, who brought the race into the trails. Originally, it was a 5K on Forest Park Drive, mostly on what we call the closed road. And since we took it into the trails, that's we like it, and we get good feedback on that, and that's where it's going to stay.
That's awesome. So I have yet to go to Forest Park. I know Whittl's runners told me that they also practice sometimes in Forest Park, and they were just raving about how beautiful it is, and the scenery and majesty and the quiet serenity of being in the park. So I may have to come and show up to this race just to see what's going on, because I've heard
Great
that the park is
opportunity.
beautiful.
We
Yeah,
are
I may have
very
to
lucky
show
have
up.
it. Yeah.
I may have to show up for sure. My question for you guys now is, a lot of groups talk about community, talk about giving back to community, being a part of the community. But it seemed like you guys are really doing that thing. And, besides the 4-mile race that you guys put on every single year, I'm curious what inspires you to reach out and do things like this and other things for your community? Because there are some run clubs that don't, right? There's some run clubs that just say, you know what, we're going to practice on these days, and that's it. We're not going to try to do anything community-wise. We're not trying to see what's happening in the area. We're just going to do what we have to do for training and leave. But a lot of run clubs like yours, like ours, like to do things to enhance the community, bring community together. So I'm curious where that culture came from, why it's a priority for your club, and some of the other things that you may be doing in your community, if you guys are doing anything else at all.
I think we like to see running as an entree to just better health, better lifestyle. That we've been so open over the years that we welcome people, whether they're part of our club or they're not part of our club, to join our running. It's an open invitation to the folks in Central Queens to try out running and see if they like it. We do stuff for, as we've met, I think Jack referenced earlier, that we do youth-oriented races. We, in the mid to late July, we do 1 mile races through Forest Park. I think it's 3 Thursdays in July. It's heavily youth skewed. Get a lot of kids, younger adults that participate in this, and that becomes their entry into running, learning about it, giving it a shot, and hopefully they end up continuing that sort of lifestyle. That's how we've been getting our name out there throughout our community, is just being visible with events like this and trying to be as open as we can to these events.
I love it. Love it.
And running really, in my opinion, it's not the only thing that we really give back to the community. And I know in the summer, and there are some events where the Parks Department have done like cleaning, and members have participated. I know, Jack, it's a big fun of the events that go on the summer in the bench shell. And so it's talking to the people in the community. So it's just not running. So getting to know the people within the community. And for people that doesn't know Forest Park, all of these events are taking place where you don't have to go to Central Park. And they're right here in Forest Park. Last year, I got the opportunity to go to these events, and they're a lot of fun. They happened after our runs, and it's very nice.
That's awesome. And I agree, Carmen. I do think, it sounds like this is more than running, right? You're talking about confidence. I think about my daughter. I have a 9-year-old daughter, and I've had her doing the Roadrunner races since she was a kid. So like the, 250-meter runs. Now she's doing the 1 mile races. And the confidence that I've seen in the last 5 years of her being so nervous to run her first race to now, I put her on the line. She's like, Daddy, I'll see you at the end. So much of that really starts with groups like yours, doing your youth races, even for people who are of our same age, right? The fear can still sometimes be there to say, I don't want to go out there. I can't go out there. I can't run 4 miles. I can't run 5 miles. I can't do a half marathon. But you're setting up these people to succeed, planting these seeds of courage, right? These seeds of confidence in them, that when they actually go out there for the big races like NYC or whatever else, they've had this training ground in Forest Park and in Queens to go out there and say they can do these things with you, with your support. So I agree, Carmen. It's more than running. You're talking about life skills. You're talking about confidence boosting. You're talking about all these different things that we apply to our lives, that running really gives us that thing to really grab hold of and make a better place for ourselves. So
absolutely. It's interesting because there's some people that says, well, why I don't run because I don't know how to run. And I'm like, you know how to walk, you know how to run then. And exactly. I've seen people that just come and run, even if it is 1 mile, and they feel great. Yeah. So it's interesting. Yeah. But yeah, you do gain a lot of confidence.
Yep. Yeah, completely agree. So one thing I like to always ask the guests on the show is how you are going to be more in 24. 24 is basically the year this year, 2024. And our theme is always being more in all things. And I know each of you has something you're trying to be more in for 24. I know Coach Otelia, you mentioned doing more certifications to be a better coach. But are there other things that you want to share, and this is regarded to or related to each of you, that you want to be more in 24 with, either related to the running club, or you as a runner, or just you as a person? I want to start with Coach Otelia because she already started talking about the coaching stuff, and then we'll go to Carmen, and then Jack, and then Mark.
Well, going back to school, I already mentioned that, and convincing my runners, running trails and doing something more serious like ultra running, which has already happened because I have a race coming up next weekend, 50K, which is the 3rd time I'm doing this race, shore to shore in Long Island. And first I did with someone from the club. And actually this year I already had 2 more people join to me. So I'm getting there slowly, you know. Mark is still not there, but I'm trying to convince him. Yeah, so he's very close. What this is about the physical thing. The other thing is, I think many runners underestimate the power of mind-body connection. And this is something I want to work on it this year, because they don't realize that the mindset being like strong in your head, how important is. So I do meditation, I do yoga, and I test these things on myself, actually, you know. And I know, just quickly, I had a surgery a year ago. I had a tumor in my neck, you know. They removed it. It was a big surgery, like 3 hours. And 3 days later, I started doing yoga and meditation, which helped me to be at the start line of the race in 3 weeks, a half marathon. So after a big surgery, 3 weeks after a big surgery, I was running a half marathon.
Wow.
So I know exactly the mindset, being strong in your head, you know, it's how important.
Yeah.
And I want them to see this, because it is very important. Running a race, especially a long distance race, half marathon, marathons, you have to be strong, not physically, because it's a mental, it's mainly a mental thing.
Yeah, completely agree
So
with
that's what I would like to work on it more, and you know, teach them about it.
Awesome. Carmen?
So not only the mindset, as Otilia says, but also, you know, the discipline that it takes, because all of us have regular jobs and families, and it takes discipline. So for me this year, I want to work more on that, and consistency, you know, in my runs, because that is something that is going to help you with people. The races now, this stage of my life, I'm just doing it for fun, but still, you know, consistency is important. And just be there, you know, supporting the other groups, the younger groups, and leading groups to run so people can see what we are doing, and so that they can be encouraged. So that's my goal.
That's
for
great.
now.
That's great. Secretary Jack?
Okay, well, we're looking to, you mentioned more, we're looking to get more activities, more runners, but well, getting more, even more running. Even more running is good, but on the other hand, you don't want to run too much, where we use your knowledge, we use our more knowledge to keep from getting injured for more and more running. And we want more and more activities for the club, more and more members, but would still maintain the feeling of a family, even as we're growing in our membership, and more participants in a race, but still put on the quality so that everybody feels it's an individual, treated as an individual. More diversity here in Queens, very diverse borough. More is good for the Forest Park runners.
Awesome. And last but not least, Mark.
I think from the club perspective, and this has gone on for a couple of years, is we want to be more responsive to the needs of our members. For a while, we've kind of touched on this throughout our chat this afternoon on a number of things, where we got away from a while from the big group runs, from the benchmark runs on the weekends. People kind of got off on their own. We're now coming back to that. I know in the past we had lost members because we didn't have real full-on coaching. We now have that. We have organized speed work, and we have Coach Attilia to lead that. That sort of stuff appeals to the general running community. We're doing a better job of getting our name out there into the community, not just within Queens, but beyond Queens, at all the major races throughout the city. So we're becoming better known. We've increased our social media presence on Instagram, on Twitter, etc., and that's helping get our name out there, and that's helping build our membership. So in that sort of way, from a club perspective, I think that's the kind of growth that we're having. But Jack also mentioned this as well. One of our slogans is that we want to still be the friendly neighborhood running club in Queens. So it's still doing all of this stuff to grow while still maintaining that neighborhood community feel. There's other clubs in the city that have become big, huge clubs. We're never going to be that, and I don't think we want to be that. That's just, we want to be our sort of thing. It's still your neighborhood club that you can come to on a Saturday or a Sunday morning and go pick up 5 miles with a couple of folks and make some friends. For a personal goal for me is I want to try to, coming out of the pandemic, I probably lost, this is complete selfishness. I understand that anybody's personal goals has a level of selfishness. I kind of lost a little bit of my speed, and I'm not running as fast as I used to be and not as strongly as I used to be. I would love to be able to get back to that in some way.
Come to speed work.
Work and things like that gets in the way of things. That's why Otilia is here. By the way, we didn't mention that one of the things that makes Otilia good as a coach is you're going to be pretty intimidated if she gets mad at you and she's speaking that Eastern European accent. That's going to scare you if you do it becoming better. And I've heard it.
And she didn't stop in the winter.
Yeah.
So we were pretty consistent with
Yes.
that.
That's for me, is to try to still, while recognize I'm getting older, is still trying to maintain my abilities as best I can. Because I still want to be, there's still things I would love to be able to try to do again.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so as myself, I'm Hungarian. So I had the language issues, especially at the beginning. I still have it, of course. But, they accepted me and they gave me like, they had faith in me. So of course I want to be the best as I can, and I give my best. I can be strict. I strict to myself, but it doesn't mean like we don't have fun. Of course, we have the speed work. They work hard, and then after speed work, we have trivia games and some other fun stuff. So it's not just about hard work, because, they work hard, they have their jobs, and they coming to speed work after work. They need some fun as well. So that's it.
Otilia has a very, the club has the club culture, if there's such a thing, is one of giving, and all our staff is volunteer, and we look to give back, and we saw that in Otilia. She's always looking to give back and share.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen, any final thoughts you want to share collectively about the group, about the future of the club, things that we haven't talked about yet in terms of what's happening in the next couple of years with the club in the future, or anything you want to share for the listeners to know, final thoughts about Forest Club Running Club?
So we already talked about we have older members, like the original members of the club, and the other day we had the monthly meeting, and we had a guest speaker, and he started asking us about what made us running, how did we start running. And then these older members share their stories. And I realized that how little we know about each other, because the stories they shared, it was amazing. I mean, some people in their 70s, 80s, they started running back then without, the proper shoes, and they had nothing, just the love of running. So during my the years in running, I saw some people disrespect, have no respect for older runners. I just want to say that respect them. They have the knowledge. You can learn a lot from them, and they did their job already. They not as good as they were before. But, we are getting there. We are all getting there. And we want to stay active. And we would like to be a part of the running community in our 60s, 70s, 80s. Hope we're going to be there. I hope we're going to be there. So we're not gonna be young forever. So we would like to get back what we give now from the younger people in the future.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
valid.
I would like to ask more respect for each other.
And I don't want to call anyone around their age, but you know, our meetings, we still have people that were running 80 years old and they still come and join our meetings. So that's really
Wow.
nice to see
Yeah.
that.
Wow,
You
wow,
know, they
wow.
may not be running, but they still interested in how's the club doing, and it's really nice to see that.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. You're talking about, I mean, that is the essence and definition of community, right? You have people who might not be able to do it physically, but their connection, right? Their heart, their
Yeah.
soul, their
absolutely.
mind, it's all still with the club, no matter what.
Yes.
And I agree with you. I think the tutelage that comes from that and the experience that comes with that, running is not new. We've been running, you know, since the beginning of time. And each of us as kids were running. As Carmen, you said, if you can walk, yeah, you can run. We've been doing this as people forever. But I think there are so many lessons that come with the experience of running, not just in terms of, yes, Otilia, the science behind it, you know, speed work and in nutrition, whatever else, but just, you know, what you do on a bad race day, what you do when it rains, you know, how you prepare for certain races, how do you prepare when you're nervous, how do you do certain things when you're afraid, you know, these have been things that books can't teach us. It's really about the experience that teaches us. And those who've been running before we had the new shoes and the all these different things, right? Some of those same foundations, I think, still hold true. And if you don't have those dialogues for people to be able to share and see what's going on, then it's really the service to the running community as a whole. So I'm glad you guys are making that connection. It sounds like you guys are doing a great job of really having the legacy of running be very, very vibrant in Queens. And it sounds like you guys really are the oldest running club. I mean, I've had a number of people on the show claim to be one of the oldest running clubs, but you guys really have the members who are backing that up with their longevity. So kudos to you for the culture. Kudos to you for continuing to be a great pillar of hope in Queens. And kudos to you to making sure that everyone continues to go out there and put their health at the forefront of their minds every Saturday, Sunday, and on those race days on Thursdays, whenever else. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
How can people connect with you guys on social media or otherwise? How do they find you?
Sure thing. Our website is forestparkrunners.org. We also have a presence on Instagram, Forest Park Runners, on Twitter X, Forest Park Runners. We put all of our, as much of our upcoming events on there. We put a bunch of our, we put out weekend recaps on Instagram every week. Otilia and our current Vice President, Keith Jones, both are the ones that have increased our social media presence. I should have acknowledged that. They're the ones that are really getting our names out there on social. They put up a weekend recap and a weekend preview for us. So those are the best places to find out about us. And if you happen to be in Central Queens on a weekend, come by and say hi. We'd love to have you.
Awesome. And can people sign up for the 4 Mile Classic now? Is it open?
It is.
Yes.
It's been open for a while, and also you can register at forestparkrunners.org. We have a link on there to the sign-up page.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, we will definitely plug that out there so people can sign up for sure. And shout out to your president, Frank Gallo, and like you said, Vice President Keith Jones, who are not on the show today, but we appreciate them as well. Otilia, Carmen, Jack, Mark, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for making this show one for the books. Super excited to be a part of the running community with you guys. And I'm going to try my best. To sign up for this race and join you guys on that weekend. If I can do it and we're going to be in town, then I will be there. I'll let you guys know what's going on for sure.
Awesome.
Bring your daughter. She'd love to run it too.
Listen, I
Yes.
would definitely bring her. Yeah, she has a Apple Watch now, so she's just always trying to clock her steps. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely
Who
bring
has
her.
to keep track.
Yeah,
Well, you
I'll
know,
definitely bring her.
going back in July, we have 3 races, 1 mile. So bring her to that.
Yep.
That's on Thursdays?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Cool. So we'll definitely talk about that offline for sure. So I appreciate
Very
you guys,
cool.
folks. Thank you so much for being on the show. And remember what they said. They said so many things. This great group of runners here talking about the accomplishment that they are doing, but also the accomplishment that they've seen others before them do. And I think the quote that we talked about in the beginning from JFK is poignant for this group. Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. They've been trying, they've been doing, they've been showing in Forest Park for a number of years. And that's why they are one of the oldest clubs, if not the oldest club, continuing to go out there for the community and continue to go out there and do things for themselves, all in the vein of running. And again, this running thing goes beyond running. You're talking about putting people out there for confidence boosting, for their health, for their mental health, all these different things through the pandemic and beyond. So we salute Forest Park runners for their great work, and we are happy to have them as another run club in our run club series. Folks, thank you so much for being a part of the show today, and I hope you will continue to be more in 24. We will see you next time. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.